Like the temperature in Oklahoma City, the playoff race is heating up as OKC Energy FC just a couple points out of that final playoff spot battle an extremely young Seattle Sounders FC2 team, one that's playing well in August. It's 2-2 in its last 4 games. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ryan Pierce. With me is Bruce Silverman from Taft Stadium. Bruce, OKC's offense has been on a roll lately.
Roll isn't the word that I would really use. I would say absolutely on fire. And Christian Valesky is one of the reasons why, doing it from the left side, but not to be outdone. Doing it on the right is Alex Dixon. They're doing it from the left, they're doing it from the right, they're doing it from the center. I'm telling you, OKC Energy is full of energy right now. Hey, winning is contagious.
Yeah, 10 goals in their last 3 games. They had 4 against RGV. It's that front 4 that has really been in sync.
Yeah, Valesky and John and Dixon and the assist man, Jose Barril, really moving the ball around very, very nicely. Reason why they've been able to find the back of the net.
They're picking it up at the right time. Right now, they are at the 11th spot in that race for that 8th spot for the Western Conference playoffs.
Yeah, with 3 points tonight, they can find themselves above the Mendoza line. They need some help. St. Louis and Tulsa doing battle tonight. San Antonio and Swope are together. And later on tonight, Las Vegas and Fresno.
They fell to the Sounders FC2 team by a 2-1 score a couple months ago, and a big reason why, maybe the reason why, is David Estrada had 2 goals in that match.
Both of those goals coming in the 80-minute plus range. That brace took care of the win. Different story tonight because OKC is in Oklahoma.
They've been playing really good soccer. OKC Energy FC 9-12-5. Seattle Sounders FC 2 finds 15-2. They are set for action in 95-degree Oklahoma City weather. It's a hot one, and it's coming up next.
Find your Mercy primary care doctor at mercy.net/energy.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB, we go where you go.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
OKC Energy FC hunting for a playoff spot. One of only 2 more games at Taft Stadium they have this season up against Sounders FC 2, looking for their first road win of the season. Energy FC 9-12-5, Sounders FC 2 5-15-2. Let's have a look at that OKC starting lineup. And for them, in 10 goals in their past 3 matches, it started with those front 3.
Absolutely. I mean, Ryan, you look at this front line, and you just see goals. That is what you get from Valesky and John and Dixon and Jose Barril moving that ball around so well. Justin Chavez clogging up the middle. That back line has been fantastic. Ibiaga is out. That's why Harris is in. And Cody Lorendi has been getting a lot of help.
Yeah, Cody Lorendi 3-0 in goal so far this season. And on the other side, S2, they've had a lot of transition throughout the season.
They have. There's a lot of youngsters on this team. You look at David Estrada, the old man on this club, past the age of 30. He'd have to sneak a couple of guys into R-rated movies with them when the boys are on the road. But this is a team that is young, and they are hungry, and they are full of talent coming out of the academy.
Yeah, Joshua Atencio, he scored his first goal within 11 minutes of getting his first career start last week. He's only 16 years old.
No, absolutely a lot of future ahead for S2.
An important player to keep in mind, too, at midfield, Jesse Daly leads their team in assists with 3. He likes to control the ball and can set up his teammates.
Absolutely, and that should make for a very fun matchup tonight between the Energy and the Sounders.
Energy, Sounders, it's going to be a fun one from Taft Stadium. Both these teams, Energy FC, they're right there in the middle of that playoff hunt. The Sounders, they're trying to work their way up, at least get some good reps in.
Taking a look at the American flag, and sadly, just a few minutes ago, the announcement that John McCain has passed away at the age of 81 years old, losing his battle with brain cancer just a day after it was announced that he would stop treatment. The Maverick, who has been such a patriot and such a leader in this country, gone at the age of 81.
Yeah, John McCain, very sad news, was such a fighter, and he was taken off his help the other day, and it is extremely sad to hear of his passing.
So that gets us to a match between two teams, and one of them looking at the playoff picture and the other one knowing that they can play spoiler.
Yes, Energy FC, they've been playing great, 3 straight wins. Their opponents, the Sounders FC2. They're trying to get their first win on the road this season. One of these teams is going to come up with a big victory. And Energy FC2, one thing they've done well recently as they start with the ball is get off to great starts with early goals.
Yeah, they certainly do in the blue kits tonight, going from left to right. And the big thing for them, and we talked about it earlier, they're going to have to be road warriors. They are going to have to do it on the road, but for them, good thing is they're at home tonight against a team that they should get 3 points from.
Kyle Highland sends that one up the field as S2 works on the counter. They've been playing pretty well. They're 2-2 over their past 4 matches. A very young team, an average age of 18 years old outside of Estrada in that starting lineup.
And youth can be a good thing, and this is what this team is all about, is getting the experience and getting the playing time and having an opportunity to play against very, very good opponents, and they find that tonight against this OKC club that is really playing well.
The ball goes into Opeo as he gets it returned back out past the touchline. Opeo, one of those very young players for S2. As you see, Coach Cook very happy this week on his interview as his team's playing great soccer.
Well, and he should be happy. I mean, the team is one of the hottest in the league right now. 10 goals in 3 games, a 4-goal output the last time out.
Nice tackle by Kyle Highland as he sends that one out. Appears like it will be the first corner so far. And then on the other end, a young but very promising young coach, John Hutchinson, serving as his first year as the Sounders S2 coach. He was the assistant last year.
And he has a young squad, but they have weapons.
OKC Energy FC pushing and tripped up from behind. And falling down was Adam John. And there's going to be an early yellow card on S2. That's something that's plagued them this year. They're one of the league leaders in yellow cards. They had an early one last week as well.
And this one coming inside at 2 minutes, and you don't see the referee go to his pocket that often inside of 2 minutes, but that was pretty blatant on the breakaway. So you see Mr. Rodriguez is in the book.
LA with the early yellow card. Another young player, 20 years old, out of Cameroon. He's making start number 16. He's really developed over the season, but that time making a bit of a mental error early in this match.
Well, not necessarily a mental error as much as a lapse in judgment.
Sure.
You know, you want to slow down the breakaway, but given the place on the pitch that took place, that might be a silly foul. And for a center back to pick up a foul and pick up a card so early in a game, it changes the way that you can play down the stretch, especially when all the action is coming your way. You want to stop it. You know, in the old time pass, you get studs up on something, and suddenly your team is playing down by a man.
Could you become more apprehensive, maybe as a defensive back in a situation?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. And that is difficult because a team like OKC is going to put their foot on the gas. Justin Chavez told me we don't want to take our foot off the gas. We want to keep going forward. And this is a team, as you see them working into the final third, that's exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, Captain Justin Chavez grew up just 13 miles, the high school just 13 miles away from Taft Stadium. As that one is played past the touchline, Justin Chavez, number 13, went to Edmonton Memorial High School. As a corner kick is coming up. Energy FC and Arvest Bank have teamed up to add a new element to home matches. The first ball that leaves the field of play and makes it into the stands is for that person to keep. As Jose Barril, the team leader in assists, he has 5 in their last couple matches, gets ready to kick. Nice boot towards the back post. Header just a bit high from, I believe, Alex Dixon, but not a bad feed there from Barril.
OKC has been very, very dangerous. It was Harris that put a head on it. They've been very, very dangerous throughout the season on set pieces, and they can take advantage of them this evening. And if the Sounders are going to give them those type of set piece opportunities, they're going to look to capitalize on them.
That's already the second set piece for OKC under 5 minutes into this one. OKC Energy FC just a couple points out of that elusive and very important 8th playoff spot. They've been climbing their way back up the standings after a rough start. They've won their last 3. They've been very good over the past couple of months. As they've stabilized that front 4, here comes an opportunity. Ball up the field, played back by McCrary defensively as S2 dodges a bullet.
You see the ball movement and how crisp the passing is from OKC.
Giving chase is Estrada, David Estrada, 2 late goals as he throws it in. Last time these two teams met, we talked to Coach Cook earlier this week, and he said that may have been the best all-around game they played the entire year, Energy FC. And they lost 2-1 because David Estrada scored in the 83rd and 85th minute.
All the scoring in that game coming late. Callum Ross had a goal early on, or just a few minutes before that, actually the 76th minute.
Coach Steve Cook has his team playing great soccer. The team was in flux earlier in the year. They were battling injuries, battling new players, but Christian Valesky came in a couple of months ago, and then Adam John came in a couple weeks ago, and the team has really solidified that front 4 with Valesky, John, and Dixon, and then Barril playing in the midfield, kind of their point man with a very good season, 7 assists. He has 5 this month, and it's really been an offensive explosion. Nice touch pass. Here's Barril. He's got an angle towards the box. It's just past John, and it's going to be another corner kick for Energy FC.
Want to correct myself, it was actually Alex Dixon from Callum Ross at the 76th minute to get the scoring started in Seattle. Excellent ball movement here, that back heel pass, and Dixon just a little bit off the mark, but setting up another corner. And that is the kind of ball movement that if you're Steve Cook, you want to see. There was a dummy pass in there, the back heel, everything moving well. They just need to score.
Barril with a corner. The 3rd set piece so far, it's cleared out. Back towards midfield. And it'll go past the touchline. Energy FC's next home match is the final home match of the 2018 regular season, Sunday, September 23rd. The Greens take on Sacramento Republic FC at 6 p.m. For more info about becoming an Energy FC member, bringing a group to a match, or single game tickets, call 235-KICK. Both teams playing pretty aggressive to start off. Energy FC has had a few more opportunities, though.
Well, for OKC, great ball movement, great ball control for the Sounders. The issue is some of these long-distance passes aren't quite on the mark, and that leads to turnovers like you have right there. It seems in the last few weeks, OKC has really stepped up their game. They've been able to control the pace a lot better, and even when things aren't quite going their way, they're still able to string together some really solid passes, and that makes all the difference. If your passing is sharp, as you see this lead pass for Highland.
Highland, defensive back, playing physical on the far side, gets away from him though, and S2 will take over. LA, and now at midfield, they look to make a move.
And the big thing for Seattle is they have to almost slow the game down a little bit. It's going over the top like that. Understand why they're doing it. They're trying to take advantage of opportunities they see down the pitch. They see an opening. They're trying to move the ball quickly. When you go over the top and you already have a man in the zone, you're conserving energy. It takes a lot of stamina to continuously move station to station up the pitch. But if you have an opportunity to go over the top to a man that's sprinting and then put an opportunity on goal, that conserves energy and it moves the ball. What's difficult about that is that over-the-top pass has to be exactly on the spot. Otherwise, when it's well defended, the opportunity's over.
Well, that's something S2 is actually pretty good at, too. Their passing efficiency is top 7 in the USL. It's one of their best characteristics.
Which is indicative of a well-coached team and a team, especially you talk about the youth and the inexperience in this club. You look at how well they're buying into the system. And the system is obviously working. So far in this game, we're in the 10th minute. Ball movement has been good between two teams. The difference is, with the exception of what happened in the first minute, Seattle really hasn't found themselves inside the final third, where we've seen a number of trips inside the final third for the Energy.
Coach Hutchinson only has 3 players over the age of 20 in their starting lineup. A very young team that's 2-2 over their past 4 matches. That's gelling and coming together. The offense for Seattle ranked 26th. Offensively for OKC, they're 14th. Really an improving number, and we're seeing why. Good touch pass towards the box, up over John's head. He'll try to retreat, keeps it in play as he battles. And will get called for the infraction, it looks like.
And what you're seeing, we've seen it on 2 different trips down the pitch. Dummy passes are working very, very well for OKC. And part of it, you talk about John, who just joined the club, as you see it right here. So you've got Richard Dixon, and that dummy pass that frees up John to go to the end and try to make something happen. Obviously, the ball gets stolen away. Good defense there. But it is that dummy pass that John lets go through that gets the opening towards the baseline.
Yeah, credit Tony Alfaro there, doing a great job keeping tabs with Adam John, who's been a scoring machine since he's come over to Energy FC. The team is 3-2 with him in the lineup. He's just been such a huge spark for them. And Coach Cook likes to say it's not just his scoring, he spaces out the offense, and it's a big reason why Valesky and Dixon have both been scoring machines over their past 3 matches.
Well, you talk about passing efficiency, and that's an impressive stat, but you also just brought up the spacing. And spacing is something that coaches really like to focus on. It's almost like when you watch the kids play, everybody just jams up on the ball, right? I mean, that's like 7, 8-year-old soccer, as everybody just wants to get surrounded the ball. As the game progresses, you talk about space and spacing. And I've done games where you can hear the coaches screaming at their players, space, space, stay in position, space. And spacing is what creates opportunities.
Here's OKC trying to space things out. Ball goes towards the box. That's Chavez trying to head it back, the captain. Ross rolls in front of him. Now Chavez sends it towards the midfield. Burrell's back. That's where they're trying to find, and they can't. As now Chavez, playing tight defensively, gets a little contact and a foul.
Yeah, the captain slows things down just a little bit as he takes down Olsen. But that's the interesting thing about Justin Chavez's game. He is a defender by occupation. He has become a midfielder, and the reason for that is he is so skilled that he can play on that back line, so he can be, as a midfielder, he can press forward and give you an attacking style, but as a defensive-minded midfielder, he can also play that holding position.
Estrada looking for Gonzalez, and it's played nicely by Burrell. But you're right, that versatility is something that Energy FC has. They've had players switch positions throughout the year, and it's something very valuable, especially as we go towards this playoff run.
When Justin Chavez was starting his career in Fort Lauderdale, he was a central defender. And then as his career has progressed through Tampa Bay and now here in Oklahoma City, that's exactly what you've seen.
Here's a chance for Seattle. It's stopped by Lorendi, stopped twice by Lorendi. And then some contact. Let's see what the call is going to be.
We get to take another look at it, and I do want to see this one to see exactly where the contact is. But before we get to the contact, what a great effort, not once but twice, by Cody Lorendi from punching it away. And then the attack coming in.
So Peo there had a couple shots at it. He's one of their better goal scorers. Highland also on the defensive play.
And obviously the call did not go against Highland. It was hard to see from that last angle if he should have been whistled for the infraction and a point at the spot. But the best attack of the evening so far for the Sounders.
Cody Lorendi on spot. This one's up the field to Dixon, but an offsides has got to be called. As Alex Dixon, one of their top goal scorers, just a bit in front of that line.
Yeah, one of the easier calls right in front of exactly where the AR was for that flag to go up. But how quickly from the attack to the counter do you see OKC move? Once they shut down that offensive opportunity by S2, they move it so quickly down the pitch. And that is really going to test the mettle of that back line for Seattle.
OKC, one of their big strengths are those through passes, how quickly they can turn the momentum of a match with them and get easy goals on one end. Almost had one there after two fantastic saves from Lorendi. He just got his first start a couple weeks ago. He's 3-0 this year after recovering from a really tough injury from Melbourne, Florida. Is Lorendi, the 28-year-old, has turned into a captain for this team and a very valuable player.
Yeah, he's been fantastic, a veteran at this level. He's played in a number of different cities.
S2 looked like they had something going there, but a strong defensive play to break things up from Callum Ross. S2 playing with a lot of energy so far. Very young team. Most of their players are 20 years old or younger. They haven't played like it, though. 2-2 over their past 4 matches. They've really improved under Coach Hutchinson. And they had an early shot, back-to-back saves by Lorendi to keep it a 0-0 score.
And one of the benefits for Steve Cook is he's got 3 outstanding keepers on this squad as the flag goes up there. You got Cody Lorendi, who is, we already saw, been absolutely fantastic. Brian Byers, and then also Matt Van Oekel. Van Oekel, who previously played with Real Salt Lake and had a great career in a number of different cities prior to that. He's injured right now. And Cody Lorendi, as you see, right there about to kick this one away with the left foot, especially down the stretch of these last few games where the team has scored 10 goals and won 3 straight. He's been one of the reasons why.
Yeah, 10 goals in 3 games. That's a program record. Big story tonight. OKC Energy trying to keep that offense going. Sounders looking for their first road win of the year. They are 0-9-2. This one's towards the box. Dixon lost it off his foot. S2 there to take it away. Energy FC good pressure, though they get it right back. It's Burrell. Nice feed to Richard Dixon. He's tangled up by Daly, and Daly comes away with it.
Good passing. They weren't able to get into a scoring position, but the ball movement was great until Dixon wasn't able to capture it on his feet, and here comes Seattle.
Daly, the team leader in assists, sends the ball up the field. Waiting for it was Drew Becky, kind of an unsung hero for this team this year. And a foul is called.
Becky, an unbelievable story, has a heart attack back in May and now playing just as well as he always has with the leadership on and off the pitch that he has always had, regardless of what city and what kit he was wearing.
Drafted in the first round of the 2013 MLS Super Draft. Drew Becky has had quite the career as that one goes off the back of the official.
Sometimes you got to play the caroms. It's almost like the indoor game.
Still with it, OKC. Here's Burrell, so dangerous. 7 assists to lead the team. One of the tops in the USL to the far side. OKC has something working here. High pass, just over everybody. As the Energy had a shot there, just couldn't finish.
Valesky was trying to control that one and corral it in. He just lost the handle on the goal line. But you see how dangerous OKC is, and you see this left-footed pass from Highland. He had the right idea. He was going to the far post, but it kind of drifted on him a little bit.
Christian Valesky, 9 goals this year to lead the team. He scored in their last 3 matches. He had 2 goals against RGV, has just been on fire. Made the team of the week this past week in the USL. In his versatility is also something to note. 5 right foot goals, 2 left foot goals, and 2 off the head. He can really score in multiple ways.
And if you're trying to defend him, that's a difficult task to do because he is just that effective. And with the height and the strength, he's, in baseball, you would call him like a 5-tool player.
Sure. Guy who can do a little bit of everything. And Energy FC has a few players like that, and there's some potential players like that on S2. A lot of young talent that Coach Hutchinson and company are filling around, kind of figuring out who can do what.
S2 doing a really good job defensively, doing a good job in the middle third. Where the breakdown is right now is on the final third. Because the patience right now, all right, we're at the final third. Here's the push through. The question is, can they be patient to move it into the 18? And that's where right now S2 has the breakdown. The ball movement is good. Get close, get impatient. They've got to learn patience. Patience is a virtue, and it is certainly going to feed them well if they find it.
I feel like patience is something a young team would struggle with, too. That makes sense for them to be very talented, very athletic, just not quite there with their patience yet.
And sometimes what happens is you get to the final third and you start licking your chops. You start seeing the openings, and sometimes that's when the nerves will tighten and the pass won't be as crisp, or the decision-making gets a little bit loose. And that is all part of the learning curve of playing the game. You talk about OKC. OKC, you look at their team, and you look at a team that has so much experience at this level, and they've played together for so long. And you look at Seattle, where youth is a great thing, is that ball is too long. And that's what it is. It is not so much, it's the fact that they lack having games under their belt. You look at a guy like Cody Lorendi, who has been playing at this level 10+ years, and you go, that's a lot of football to a plate. There are some guys on Seattle's squad that haven't played or haven't been alive as long as Cody Lorendi has been playing at this level.
LA was looking for Opeo on that last play, just overshot him a bit. And so far, S2 is holding their own. They played a great first 35 minutes against T2 last week before giving up a couple goals, 3 in the second 45 minutes. Here's a chance for Energy FC2, and quickly taken away and then fouled is Daly, the team leader in assists. Jesse Daly's been a steady player on a team with lots of changes so far this season for S2, as that one is knocked out of play. And there's a lot of out-of-town scores we want to watch. And here's a big one, Swope Park on top of San Antonio FC. Those are 2 teams just barely in front of Energy FC.
Yeah, and if you're Energy, you want to draw out of that game.
I think they'll have a couple of those down the stretch. St. Louis FC, they're currently in the hunt for the playoffs in that 8th seed. They lead Tulsa by 2-0 score. That is one St. Louis with a very tough last 7 or 8 matches has to take away.
Yeah, that's not a score that is going to excite OKC. They would want it to be flipped around, but that is the danger.
Here's something for S2, and it will lead, it looks like, potentially to a corner. They're going to say it's going to be a goal kick, as it was last touched by S2. Good aggressive play going down towards the goal by Opeo. We've seen him a couple times tonight, try to make a good move towards the goal and come up short, but you like the aggression.
Yeah, St. Louis coming into this game with 35 points, 7th in the standings. San Antonio right behind them with 34. Swope with 34. Fresno, who's playing later tonight, 33. And OKC with 32. So we talked about in the opening, with a win tonight, would give them 35 points, but San Antonio and Swope picking up points, and that would keep them outside of that playoff bubble, but with plenty of games to play. And you know, with St. Louis on the schedule, with a number of 6-point games in front of them, although they're going to have to do it on the road,
sure,
the opportunities are there for OKC to play themselves into the playoffs.
OKC a shot here, a little bit of a miscue. McCrary comes away with it, is cleared out by the goalkeeper Brown as he sends it back well past midfield. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earn some discounts at several metro area locations like Terry Parker Solutions, Mamaritas, and Buffalo Wild Wings on Northwest Expressway. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. No score. Nearly 25 minutes into this match between Energy FC and S2. OKC has won their last 3. Seattle Sounders FC2, they're 2-2 in their last 4, so 2 teams that are playing solid soccer entering tonight.
And for Dixon, he's going to look for the target he wants.
Richard Dixon to throw in. Alex Dixon's in front of him. As he looks for John, that goes over his head. And now that leads to S2 setting up the offense at midfield. LA will take his time. Now to Alfaro. Alfaro tries to look through the defense. Little touch pass. Giving chase was Gonzalez. Couldn't quite keep up with it. And coming away is Chavez. His pass is right to Alfaro, though. And S2 will reset as they look to push. Intención. He scored the team's only goal in their 4-1 loss to the T2 last week. Ball to the corner. Here's a chance for S2. Broken up by Dixon, and it goes past the touchline.
Opeo didn't want to throw it in, but you know, he's probably pretty happy right now. He's probably happy and sad all at the same time. There's a hurricane coming Hawaii's way. He's
sure
from Hawaii, so that's the bad news for Opeo. The good news is the team in the Little League World Series from Hawaii gets the win today over Georgia, so they will be playing for the Little League Championship tomorrow.
Shandon Opeo, the 19-year-old from Hawaii, wearing number 37 for S2. Aggressive, raw talent is how his coaching staff describes him. He's the first Hawaiian player to sign with Seattle through their academy pipeline. Many of the players in this S2 team are through that very pipeline, but he is the first one to do so from Hawaii. As here's Richard Dixon battling near the touchline. He falls down after making contact with Gonzalez. It's going to be a foul on Gonzalez.
And it happens right in front of the S2 bench, so you know they're not going to be particularly thrilled with the whistle.
Coach Hutchinson watching Gonzalez play again. We've talked about it. Youth is the story. Gonzalez, the 17-year-old from Las Vegas, has a goal this year. He's played pretty well for his team. Signed as a 16-year-old last year, the second youngest signing in team history at the time.
Youth being served in Seattle.
Energy FC trying to use their experience. That one's played away back towards midfield. as Gonzalez gives chase for Seattle. Now on the foot of Dixon. Nice little move as he beats the defender. Dixon has speed. Crossing pass towards John. Goalkeeper leaves his spot, but it goes out of play.
Great play by Ellie to get the right positioning to be able to clear it off and prevent from the play on the line. We get to take another look at it. And first of all, it starts with Dixon with a great move to get around the pass inside. He's looking for John, but Ellie gets in there and he's able to cut off the angle from John, resulting in this corner.
Dixon, great passer for assists. Burrell has 7. That one will go through the net on a big goal for Energy FC as it's punched through by Christian Valesky, number 10 for him this year.
Valesky, you talked about how he was dangerous. He could do it with the left foot, he could do it with the right foot, and now his 3rd header of the year in the 28th minute.
Christian Valesky has been on fire. His 4th straight game with a goal. He has 3 goals in the team's past really match in 28 minutes and 10 seconds. He has been an incredible player for Energy FC.
And it all starts with a perfect corner. Absolutely perfect by Burrell. That right foot curling right to the head of Christian Valesky. And Valesky, like you said, just continues this amazing run that OKC is on right now. Their 11th goal in less than 4 games.
How about Jose Burrell, the 25-year-old from Spain? 10 assists with Energy FC. That's 8 this season. That 10 ties him for the team record held by Michael Thomas in his time with Energy FC. So congrats.
Well, hold on to that thought, Brian. Hold on to that, because the way that Burrell has been the assist man for OKC just in the last 4 games, 3+ games, something tells me that if OKC scores again this evening, Jose Burrell is going to have something to do with it.
He has 6 in just the past couple of weeks alone. Here's one to make note of. Valesky and Dixon have scored, well, coming into this one, in the team's last 3 games, now 4 for Valesky. But last time, Dixon and Valesky scored within about 90 seconds of each other. So we'll see if Alex Dixon tries to keep up with his teammate here.
And Valesky also trying to play himself into the leading goal stat.
Daly looking towards the box. S2 still playing with a lot of energy. Nice bending kick, but right there was Laurenti. Good look, though, from Gonzalez.
And what really changes the complexity of this trip down the pitch by S2 is Burrell playing back to the ball, and you see him play that defensive ball where he was running from behind. Here it is. No, it was before that kick. He came sprinting in from behind to initially clear the ball. It changed the fortunes for S2. That is one of those heads-up football plays. That is soccer IQ right there, to know that you can play from behind and break up opportunities.
Energy FC went through a stretch where they really struggled to score earlier in the year in April and May. And now they've just been on fire. They scored 10 goals in their past 3 matches entering this one, and now 1 here early, leading 1-0. S2, though, they've been known to be a good second half team, so Energy FC still has work cut out for them against this young squad. And of course, remember last time Energy FC led late 1-0, and then Estrada dropped in too late. So you want to have that cushion if you're the home team.
Yeah, you never want to play from behind, but S2 will go into the locker room, and Coach Hutchinson is going to say, remember the last time we played them? We came from behind and we got the win.
Alex Dixon towards Valesky. And that time S2 defends it. Burrell's going to take a fire, and he's just wide right with that left foot.
Well, you know that he likes to give it up, and so we know that he is selfless. This time he was selfish and just comes up wide right. But it was an outstanding strike. And that was a little pinball action. And then he finds the ball at his left foot and he volleys it. And if that ball had been a little bit more to where he could really plant that right foot and get a swing on it, he would have put it on frame. He had to sweep around on it. The ball was coming in kind of hot. And you talk about hot. You talked about it earlier, 95 degrees, so they'll get a little liquid in, a little hydration before they play the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, 95 and humid in Oklahoma City. Very warm. Again, a left-footed kick from Jose Barril. He's only got 1 goal this year. He does have 8 assists. He thought, okay, I've been pretty nice recently. I'm going to take this one myself and see if I can get goal number 2. It wasn't a bad strike. Just missed it maybe a foot wide.
No, like I said, it was a bang-bang play, and he really didn't get a chance to put that plant foot down. I mean, so often you look at goals that are scored and goals that are not scored, and it really comes down to what a player can do to control the ball, and it happens off of that plant foot, because the easier that you put that plant foot down, it changes the complexity of the way that you kick the ball. If you can really step in and really get that footing, you can power the ball, you can finesse the ball, you can curl the ball, you can do a lot of things with it, and it all happens with that plant foot. And if you have to rush a shot, that plant foot is a big part of the success or the failure of the attempt.
Barril found Valesky earlier to give OKC the 1-0 lead. A lot of games happening tonight in the USL that are of interest to Oklahoma City, and one of them is at Swope Park. San Antonio scoring right now. Swope Park has found their groove, leading 2-0.
And that is a big matchup, because those are 2 teams that are sitting 8th and 9th on the table, both with 34 points. So if Swope can pick up the win, they'll go from 34 to 37. That would put them right behind Reno 1868, sitting currently with 38 points. And that would leave, obviously, San Antonio at 34, but that would push them down below that Mendoza line. OKC looking for their 35th point. Fresno and Las Vegas are later on tonight. And there's St. Louis, just gave up the goal to Tulsa, and St. Louis sitting in 7th position with 35 points. And if you're OKC, you want to see Tulsa, the team sitting at the bottom of the table, get at least the draw this evening, preventing St. Louis from moving up to 38 points.
Yeah, plenty for fans to keep track of. Right now, though, Energy FC trying to hold off this young S2 team. They've been on the attack quite frequently in this first half, just haven't been able, like Bruce said perfectly, to get things done in that final third of the field, although they've done a good job getting to that point. As Alex Dixon showing off the footwork, he's got a ton of space to his right. Here comes Dixon, looking for the score or a cross. That one's a cross, and it's kicked up in the air. Good recovery there from S2. And some contact from Chavez. As Dixon, some nifty moves to get space in the open field.
One Dixon to the other, and here comes Alex Dixon. Puts the burners on, stays on his feet, gets to the point where he wants to feed it off, but it just gets knocked away.
Looks like he was looking for John, who was trailing, but it was S2 getting back. So nicely done by them to get back on defense and prevent a easy crossing pass. As Dixon again, feeling very confident right now. He hop skips the defender. And some contact as Valesky falls.
And a little hop, skip, and a jump just to stay with it. But really, I mean, you see the talent. It's one thing to be a speedy guy, which certainly Alex Dixon is, but to get a little bit of a bump and stay on your feet, that's impressive.
Difficult play, but it was handled nicely by Alfaro, with Adam John breathing down his neck. OKC still with it, though, as Richard Dixon looks for the pass. Nobody there but S2 players. Here comes Seattle, looking for some momentum, down 1-0 off a 25th minute goal from Christian Valesky. His team leading 9th of the season. Good tackle by Highland as he knocks it out of play. It's going to be a corner kick for Seattle.
And that is a veteran play by Kyle Highland. He times this thing absolutely perfect, and he has to, because if he doesn't, look where the play is. It's in the 18. You misplay that, you don't get the ball, and you put your opponent on the spot.
Here comes the corner. It's a good one towards the middle of the field. Bit of a miss header. Keeping with it, though, is Daly for S2. Then kicked away by Chavez, and it'll go all the way back towards midfield, waiting for it's McCrary, the defender.
And what's impressive about that defensive stand by OKC is there was no panic in it. They just stood their ground. They knew where to be positioned. They were able to clear out the garbage momentarily, but they were able to clear it out.
Any chance S2 has really had so far today? OKC has been there defensively, that back line. Unsung heroes over the past few weeks. They've been steady. Here's Alfaro working near the sideline. Little touch and go. Richard Dixon playing for the banged up Ibiaka. Defends the offensive player nicely with his back and lets it go out of play. Ball comes down to S2. Opeo towards the box. Cleared out by OKC.
Yeah, it was a little teaming up between Harris and Becky to shut down that opportunity. You made a mention before about the unsung heroes on this club in the last 3+ games. A lot of credit, and rightly so, has to go to Valesky, John, Dixon, and Burrill. But if it's not for Highland and Becky, Harris in for Ibiaga and Dixon, then this is not the same outcome in terms of the success that OKC has had. So it has really been a complete team effort that has led to this team playing 3+ games of superior football.
Highland and McCrary make contact. McCrary a bit slow to get up, but he looks like he's going to be okay. And you're right, Bruce. The offense gets the attention, but it starts defensively, especially with a team like OKC that likes to work quickly. Their defenders, their goalkeeper, they like to kick the ball up the field and try to go quickly.
Well, and they also, like this Steve Cook, told me a few weeks ago, we want to play the ball up the field. We want to put our foot on the gas. We want to move forward. And a lot of that has to do with, we've already seen Richard Dixon and Kyle Highland moving up the wings and moving the ball to their feature players in Dixon and Valesky and John.
OKC, the bigger, more experienced team, using their physicality there. Here's Valesky. As he bends it far side, John's open towards the box. And playing it back is Ross as he's looking back for Burrill in midfield, who's calling for it. Can't get it to him, and now Daly clears out. Burrill's their point man. He wanted it, and now he's got it. And quickly the pressure comes. Burrill pulls it back. Richard Dixon and Burrill go back and forth as OKC leading 1-0 on a 25th minute goal from Christian Valesky, trying to extend that lead before halftime.
It was one of the, going back about 30 seconds, it was one of the rare situations where OKC was not patient. They were trying to push it and force it. The space wasn't there. We talked earlier about how well OKC does with spacing. The spacing wasn't there. They tried to thread the needle, and it just wasn't there, which is the reason why the opportunity went awry for OKC. If you're S2 right now, you want to get through the next 5+ minutes without giving up another goal. You want to push forward. You want to see if maybe you can get the equalizer before you go into the dressing room. It is these long distance passes that have failed them previously work out here, but it is the next 30, 40 yards that have really been hit or miss for S2 so far.
S2, the young squad, trying to get their first road win of the season. They're 0-9-2 on the road this year. Energy FC looking for their 4th win in a row. And it's a big needed win with only one more match here at Taft Stadium in their last 7 after tonight. Here is S2 trying to push, a little bit of a miscue, and OKC comes on the counter.
And they missed by just that much.
On the other end, it's Ross. He's looking to push. He's got tons of space. It's Ross firing. What a save by the goalkeeper, Brown.
And Brown coming up huge, cutting off the angle, coming off of his line, and shutting that opportunity down because, man, they moved it quickly.
Lorendi miscue. Thankfully for him, his teammate Drew Becky is there to back him up. That was almost a huge turn of events, as Estrada had a shot at an easy goal.
Yeah, that was the best opportunity of the evening for S2. They were just shut down by a gutsy keeper.
Little push from Daly. First, let's have a look at that OKC almost goal. This was a really good opportunity. Kalen Ross on that far side had some space, but credit Brown coming up and making the play.
And credit also the pressure that came from Alfaro to kind of shut it down. And then here, a rare miscue outside of the box by Cody Lorendi. Had to get bailed out by his defender. Otherwise, we talked about it a moment ago, exactly what S2 wanted to do was to try to pick up the equalizer.
Here's Estrada again playing very tight defensively, and he forces a turnover. Now Gonzalez in the box, catching energy off their heels, and it's saved by Llorente. Bit of a miss kick at the top of the box from one of their better strikers, Hopeo.
Yeah, Hopeo trying to close that gap, and they just didn't have enough oomph in that shot, which is the reason why Llorente was able to come up with the easy save, and he's probably still trying to catch his breath from the miscue just a few moments ago.
So Llorente, if my count is right, that is save number 3. As that one goes past the touchline. A lot of action over the past 3 minutes.
Did you give him credit for a save on the miscue?
I'm not giving him credit
Okay.
for that. Yeah, again. Do you think that should be?
No.
Of course not. Okay.
No, you get a save if you stop the ball and the ball no longer moves. That ball kept on going.
Here's S2. They've played well, just haven't quite capitalized in their final third. Daly, team leader in assists, will backtrack it to Alfaro. Whereas S2 looking for their first road win this year. They're 2-2 in their last 4. This young squad with only a handful of players in the field right now over the age of 20 have really progressed under Coach Hutchinson. Nice feed from Daly, coming up, making the play that time is Llorente.
They've gone to that play time and time again, and we talked about it earlier. Unless that ball is passed perfectly, opportunity over. You're a minute and a half from going into the locker room. You're down by 1. You need to control the ball a little bit more. You can't pass over the top into traffic.
Off the head of John. L.A. is there, though. Rodrigue L.A. has had a nice first half on that back line for S2. Now touch towards the sideline. Estrada going to work, showing off the footwork, and offsides is called as we approach 45 minutes and 30 seconds into this first half.
That was a nice push up the pitch by S2. Shame that the flag goes up and they just mistimed it as they got right around the 18. Llorente will now take his time to kick this one away just before we get into some added time. We're going to have 2 minutes of added time for your viewing pleasure. A little interesting to get it 15 seconds before the clock strikes 45, but we get it nonetheless.
David Estrada has played a really strong last couple of minutes. Coach Hutchinson has had him come off the bench the past few weeks, decided to put him in the starting lineup today after his really strong performance against OKC back in June when he scored 2 goals, both of them late. And he's had a couple chances lately.
Well, and you've got the leading goal scorer for your squad. You want to get him involved, and the more he's involved.
Gonzalez looks like he had some contact.
Looked like he took a shot from Chavez.
It was actually Hopeo. The youngster from Hawaii has had a good first half. Just ran into Chavez there.
The one thing that Justin Chavo is not a dirty player. So that was definitely inadvertent. As you can see, he was trying to plant and then move down the field, go after the ball. So we'll get a little bit of break here, minute into stoppage time as he's attended to. You talked about the Hawaiian product coming through the Seattle Academy as you get a look at Chavo right there. And the amount of sweat. You talked about 95-degree heat here in Oklahoma. These guys will go into the locker room, take their kits off, and wring out pounds of water.
The balmy 95, late August. It's that time of the year, especially in Oklahoma City, where it's extreme heat. And throughout the country, we've seen a lot of rain recently, but not down south. The weather has kept up, and it's the hottest match, at least I've seen OKC playing in quite some time.
Temperatures do get a little bit hotter as you go farther south. Some of the games that have been played in Texas have been well over 100 in the shade. Phoenix, Las Vegas, Fresno. I mean, these are cities that the heat index has gotten very, very high. And Oklahoma City, no different.
Cody Lorendi boots this one deep, as OKC looks like they'll be content with a 1-0 lead heading into the break. Off a goal 25 minutes in from Christian Valesky, his 10th goal this year to lead the team, as he gives OKC a 1-0 lead heading into the half.
He has been absolutely phenomenal since coming over to OKC and giving them a renewed energy and an opportunity to push for the playoffs.
The OKC faithful will like it, but also remember Lorendi has been on his A game as well to give his team the lead at the break, and none better than this double save from the keeper.
That might just end up in the Save of the Week category in the USL.
We'll break and come back with halftime.
Mercy helps the energy get to the top of their game. We can help you get to the top of yours. Learn more at mercy.net/energyfc.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
Success is achieved through hard work, and many business owners work tirelessly for years to realize the dream of franchising their business. FFB partners with companies of all sizes every day and offers an extensive variety of treasury services. FFB will outline a plan just for you, help you streamline cash flow, and monitor your business transactions. Because we know you've got better things to do, like grow your business. FFB, we go where you go.
Before the celebration. Before the projections. Wait, those are the projections? Before you changed course. Again. Before the late nights, long shots, and leaps of faith. Before it was a startup. It was just an idea. And then, everything changed. Cox Business. We're making the connections that change everything.
Welcome back to Taft Stadium. Ryan Pierce, Bruce Silverman. Looking at the Western Conference standings, teams 7 through 12 so tightly compact, which makes these games so important.
Absolutely. OKC on fire as of late. 10 goals, 3 games, trying to get to that Mendoza line. Need some help. 3 points tonight and some help above them will get them into the playoff picture tonight. But it is a long road ahead.
It's so quick how these standings could shift. Teams 7 through 11 just separated by 3 points.
And for OKC, it's a matter of looking forward because they've got to be road warriors. They have 6 games on the road, only 2 at home.
And a couple of them against the teams you just saw in the standings right in front of them at Swope Park on September 2nd. And in St. Louis on October 13th. That last one could decide who makes the playoffs.
Yeah, if you want 6-point games, they're there for you. The captain, Justin Chavez, told me earlier in the week we're playing with a chip on our shoulder. We know the promised land. The playoffs are in front of us. They just have to take care of business.
Their fate is definitely in their hands. It's going to be a fun couple of weeks for OKC as they close out the year. It was an exciting week in the USL this past week. When we come back, we have the goals and saves of the week.
I was born from the bottom. of Olsen, looking for number 14. There it is.
Cross comes in towards the back post, and Foster Langsdorff has his 11th goal this season.
The corner of the 18, cross comes in, and a goal for Foster Langsdorff. It's his second of the evening.
Into the box, a strike, and a goal. Christian Valesky.
Guess who?
Again, Valesky with his second. Slides it across, Michael Seaton. Seaton in on goal, Michael Seaton, he's at the brace.
Ledesma right at the edge of the 18, takes a shot, and Manu Ledesma does it again!
Now Spees gives it a go, and Spees finds the back of the net. Game of one-upsmanship from the Indy 11 this season.
Rebound comes out though, and it's stuck right back in. And guess who? Solomon Asante. Chance now for it, St. Louis! Long overdue goal for Corey Herzog. Here's Carl Howarth, and the shot, and it is 1-0 Ottawa Fury FC.
Rizella Zayden to strike, it hits the frame of the goal and goes in. Laid off to the path of Barry, he's onside, and he fires it home.
It'll be Gordon to strike with his right boot, hits it, and puts it in the back of the net.
To Velasquez, he'll take a crack through distance, and a goal! Chandler Hoffman redirects it for the goal.
Here's another opportunity, Dixon shot, and a score.
Back to Corbin Bone. Bone inside of the 18, buries it in the back of the net.
Still Belmar, now into the area across from Belmar. Losing his defender, Belmar, surely Blackwood gets the goal.
Great save by Kendall McIntosh.
Shot getting a piece of it. What a save.
The great stop by Dykstra.
Oh, what a save by Vaughn Williams.
Cardoni with an impressive save.
A brilliant save.
The fans battle the heat as Energy FC battles Sounders FC 2. Let's have a look at some of the goals of this past week.
Candela can't control it. Ledesma right at the edge of the 18, takes a shot, and Manu Ledesma does it again! His 11th goal of the season!
Looking for the right option. Too many near post runs. Rizella Zayden to strike! It hits the frame of the goal and goes in! Zach Ellis Hayden with a staggering strike.
Falls to Velasquez, he'll take a crack through distance, and a goal! Chandler Hoffman redirects it for the goal.
It'll be Gordon to strike with his right boot, hits it, and puts it in the back of the net. San Antonio has found the opener.
Good pressure by Venegas. Now Spees gives it a go, and Spees finds the back of the net for the second time in as many home matches.
Will send the cross in towards a penalty spot. Williamson wins the header, and Cardoni with an impressive save to keep the scoreline level.
Delivery there by Kanumbe to the back post. Up for the header. Oh, what a save by Vaughn Williams.
Illinois with the drums before the game, and this is a through ball. Shot getting a piece of it. What a play by Nico Cordy.
Gonzalez, who this time will send it in. Header won by Loria, and then put on frame. A great save by Kendall McIntosh to keep it out from the net.
It's time, Gonzalez. What a back flip that is, and what a save. Dick just gets an outstretched hand to it.
An exciting week on the field for the USL, an exciting week off the field as well.
Absolutely. Rochester, one of the most storied cities in American soccer, returning USL D3 by 2020.
Look at those numbers in terms of attendance at the games this year. It's been such a great year for the USL, and now they're eclipsing more than 2 million fans this weekend.
And more than 5,000 a game. That's impressive.
And the paperwork's been filed for Division 3. The league just keeps getting bigger.
Both leagues, D3, at least 10 teams for 19.
This keeps on growing. And how big do you think that addition's going to be?
It's going to be huge.
We're going to have an exciting second half. These next 45 minutes, big for both these teams. But first, when we come back, a recap of the first half highlights and stats.
I'd always wanted to get braces, always considered it, thought about it. You know, how long is this gonna take? Am I too old to do this? What am I gonna look like with braces on? With payment options and everything else, nothing's hindering me now, I just need to go ahead and do it. The staff, for one, is awesome. The doctor's great. I know I had friends growing up saying, oh, it hurts. I didn't have that experience. I can't wait to see my teeth without being masked by wires, right? Hindsight, I would have done it again 100 times over.
When that hurricane hit, the entire community came together as a whole. It was such an overwhelming response to help others. No one thought that they were going to do this before it happened, and everyone just did it. I think that's the way that human nature should be looked at.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
In Ireland, the first Sisters of Mercy were called the Walking Sisters because every day they went out in search of women and children who needed healing or help. Mercy continues to answer the same call, dedicated to the health of every woman who comes to us for care. Mercy, in every era, your life is our life's work. Learn why we serve at mercy.net/legacy.
OKC Energy FC leads Sounders FC 2 by a 1-0 score. That first half had a little bit of everything for these Energy FC fans to enjoy.
No, it's been a good half, really, for both teams. It's been punch, counter punch, and most of the punches have come from OKC, but every once in a while, you saw S2 coming through. That was early in the game. Beautiful passing, that dummy pass, then the back heel pass. Burrill, the assist man, trying to pick up an assist that didn't work out in that moment.
Then a couple great saves from Lorendi, the goalkeeper for OKC, and that one really kept them with the momentum early on.
Well, that's going to be for the highlight reel. There's no doubt about it. You punch it away once, you come back, punch it away twice, you keep the game tied at 0-0. Highland probably very lucky that he didn't end up in the book.
Then Burrill finding Polanski with the goal about 28 minutes into this one. Burrill, it was assist number 8 for him. For Christian, it was goal number 10.
Cannot say enough about Burrill and the assist man he is. Polanski on how he has just come up huge since coming over. And how about this? The Jets of Dixon trying to feed it to John to try to pick up another goal. But what was so impressive about Dixon, the individual effort to stay on his feet and get it down the pitch.
Yeah, Dixon was all over the field that first half, couldn't quite capitalize with a goal or an assist. And here is almost a miscue by Lorendi. Thankfully, his teammate Becky was there to back him up.
Yeah, Lorendi, a rare mistake, and David Estrada trying to make him pay for that. And here's the impressive thing for me: possession in favor of S2, shots in favor of S2. And that's interesting because I watched the first 48 minutes, and I didn't think that S2 got off that many shots or that many on target. The possession, that is a stat that always, I think we should always break it down into possession in the final third, because that really tells a big story. For S2, they possess the ball in their third. In the middle, it has been the breakdown in the transition from the middle to the final third that has been the difference in this match for them.
So the big difference between these two teams, as the stats are relatively comparable, is that Energy FC has finished off their plans.
The finishing has been, not only in this game, they've played 3.5 games where their finishing has been phenomenal. They have struggled a bit because of solid defense by S2, but they do have the 1-goal advantage.
It's a big one for Energy FC because after tonight they only have 7 more matches, and 6 of them are on the road, and you see 3 against teams that are in the West, and one of them, Swope Park, is right there with them in the standings.
There are points to be had. There are 6-point games to take place. You look at Orange County, that is a 6-point game. Sacramento, that is a 6-point game. There are some teams below them in the standings that you can look at and say, we got to get wins. It all starts next weekend on the road. Swope, that is a team they have to take care of.
We are getting set for action at Taft Stadium. Ryan Pierce, Bruce Silverman. A fun first half. A lot of action you saw from those highlights back and forth. The road team, S2, controlled the possession, but it's Energy FC leading 1-0 on a goal by Christian Valesky. His 10th of the season. Burrell had assist number 8. What are the changes for both sides do you make if you're the coaching staff?
If I'm Hutchinson, I go into the locker room and he's going to make a substitution to start the second half here. It looks like, no, he was just having a conversation with David Olson. If I'm talking to my squad in the locker room, I'm telling them, just be a little bit more patient. Doing a good job on defense. We're doing a good job in the middle. We just need to be more efficient in our final third. If you are OKC and you're Steve Cook, you're telling your team, do what you're doing. Put your foot on the gas and keep the engine running.
That was a mistake they made last time these two teams hooked up. Estrada for S2 scored 2 late goals in the 83rd and 85th minute with OKC leading.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that was a game that was 0-0 at half. OKC gets on the board in the 76th minute. And then, like you said, Estrada picks up 2 goals in 2 minutes for the 2-1 win.
Good pace from S2 to start this one. Now here comes Energy FC. There's Valesky losing control, and S2 comes away with it. Here's a shot towards the box from Taft Stadium in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Here's a strike, and right there is the keeper, Brown. Ryan Pierce and Bruce Silverman. There's a look at Coach Steve Cook and his team, OKC, looking for winning number 4 in a row.
Ross doing a good job to feed John. John was trying to get the shot off. Defender right in his face, kind of hard. Tried to curl it around, but Brown was right there to snatch it out of the air. That, if you're OKC, that's the way you want to start the second half. If you're S2, that's what you want to be concerned about in the second half, that you don't want to give up opportunities that easily.
Daly battles at midfield with Burrell. As that ball is sent towards the box, giving chase. Trying to turn it. Was Valesky. He's looking for John. Valesky chips it up in the air over the right post. We have a look at that last good strike from OKC. They had a chance. There's John. Little chip pass from Ross. John had a look at it. Maybe a little timid on that play.
Yeah, and like I said, you got Ellie who was just standing in front of him and preventing him from really having a good look. The defensive spacing was there that he couldn't really pick where he wanted to put it, near post, far post, ended up curling it right into the hands of Brown.
Real already has an assist off a set play. That one is headed back by the defensive S2. Chasing and trying to keep it in play and unable to was Rodrigue Ellie, who's had such a nice game on that back line. His hands are full with this explosive OKC offense.
Yeah, and Ellie just a mishandle to give Highland the throw, and he uses it like a mini corner.
Good throw from Highland, just a little bit over his target as he was looking for John.
If John had left his feet, he might have been able to control it, but he was well defended.
OKC leading 1-0. Christian Valesky, goal number 10 of the year. The 28th minute of that first half. Jose Burrell, assist number 8. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earns them discounts at several metro area locations like Fandango, Fitspa, and Supermercado Morelos. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold.
Right now, OKC, there's a little bit of frustration with OKC right now, is they're not being able to move the ball as efficiently as they would like to. And that is all a credit to S2 and the way that they are defending.
That one's a good pass from Burrell. John has some space, looking for an angle, fires towards that right post. He's just a bit wide. He had his man trailing up the middle, Alex Dixon. That might have been where the pass was actually going.
Great ball movement to move it forward. Again, Burrell for John. John, not sure if he actually saw Dixon trailing as much as he was trying to go to the far post. There was too much pace on that to call it a pass. Sometimes it's hard to see the entire field.
Headed towards the box. Dixon got it past the keeper, but it was cleared out by McCrary. Nice defensive play by the backline defender.
Yeah, Brown might have gotten away with one there as he went to make the play on the ball. And you see the way this play goes down. Good ball movement. Dixon trying to get it past Brown over to Valesky, but Brown cuts off the angle just enough that Dixon isn't able to put enough pace on the pass, and it gets cleared off that back line.
A couple near opportunities for OKC. They haven't been able to finish them off. Let's see if that plays into momentum as we go forward here in this second half. OKC needing the win, trying to climb up the standings, looking for that number 8 spot. The scoreboard favors them to an extent tonight. S2 are looking for their first home win, or rather road win of the year. They're 2-2 in their last 4 with this young team.
Another over-the-top pass by S2, but this time they'll have the throw in the final third.
That's where they struggled today. They become a little bit, I don't want to say lackadaisical, but maybe not as sharp as they are at midfield and towards the back. A young team trying to find their mojo. Good over-the-top pass towards the corner, maybe a bit strong. Dixon battles with Hines. Dixon hits the turf. It's going to be a corner kick.
Yeah, it was one of those balls that kind of checked up, but it was well defended by Richard Dixon. But a corner opportunity in the in-swinger coming up.
Gonzalez, one of the many teenagers on the field right now for S2. A little bit deep. Opeo tries to keep it in play, cannot. It's actually Alfaro chasing it. Not much from that corner. And a yellow card is going to be called on Tony Alfaro. That is the second so far for Sounders FC2.
And this is what changes the complexity of this game. So Tony Alfaro in the book at the 52nd minute. Ellie got into the book in the 2nd minute. So now you have your 2 central defenders that are 1 card away from being sent off. You know you're playing a team that is aggressive, that's going to put the ball on the floor, move it up, try to put it down your throat, and now your central defenders are sitting with cards. So now if you're Hutchinson, not only are you trying to control this game, not only are you trying to figure out how to get back into the game, now you're trying to figure out how to defend this game where you cannot put a lot of pressure on, because a mistake by Alfaro, a mistake by Ellie, and those guys are sent off. You're down a man. So now, if you're Hutchinson, are you looking to make substitutions with your central defenders when you're down a goal? That's not the recipe that you want to have when you're 53 minutes into the game.
That's a tough spot to be in for Coach Hutchinson, because you want to have your best players out there, but you also want to have the guys out there that can play with physicality against a bigger, more experienced team.
Well, it's not just the physicality. It's, you know, we talked about this when Ellie picked up the card in the 2nd minute. An ill-timed pass on the defensive side of the ball. Studs up. You take out the legs of a striker, and all of a sudden, you're sent off.
Here comes Burrell, the point man, already 1 assist today. It was to that man, Valesky. Valesky sizes up the defender, tries to cross, hits the turf, wants a foul. No call.
And that was very quickly called by Gardia, the referee. We take another look at it. Burrell moving and turning, and then sending it over to Valesky. Valesky is trying to find the angle. McCrary might have, maybe this is a better angle. Now Valesky went down a little too easy on that. He was trying to sell it. It was not Oscar worthy.
That's the 2nd time in the past 5 minutes. McCrary has saved an easy shot, and that's going to be a yellow card on Daly. So 2 yellow cards in the span of a couple minutes for the road team. And now Daly, their point man, their leader in assists, picks it up. That's 3 yellow cards on S2 tonight.
And that's a frustration foul. That is a situation where Daly basically gets beat by Burrell and then just comes in and takes out his legs. Referee Gardia coming in quickly to make sure that cooler heads prevail. David Estrada came in as the captain to kind of try to sell a little bit, but Gardia was not buying, and Burrell will be on the ball for another set piece.
Yeah, Estrada's got about a decade in age and experience on Daly, and he used it there. The kick from Burrell, good bending kick towards the far side. He was looking for Kalen Ross. It's up in the air, empty net, and it's dropped through. It looks like, is that Christian Valetsky? No, it was Adam John getting goal number 2 for Energy FC tonight, and for him on the year, and OKC now takes a commanding lead.
And on this one, it's all a matter of staying on the play and playing to the whistle. Starts with another great ball by Burrell, and then you see Brown comes in, and he doesn't have a sense of urgency to try to pick up that ball, ends up clapping, and as he gets the clap, it's actually Adam John who puts it in the back of the net.
John's second goal in match number 6 with his new team in the 56th minute to give OKC the 2-0 lead. Now here's an upfield pass to Dixon. Dixon tripped up in the box.
What is he doing?
As he was looking for a goal himself, a lot of contact. The goalkeeper, Brown, playing aggressive as everybody looks like they're okay.
So everybody gets a little bit of a breather as they'll come off of the turf. Brown came in trying to stop it, actually taken out by his own teammate, Nick Hines. Results in a corner.
Hines does a good job getting back on defense there to at least put a little bit of pressure on Dixon. It leads to a corner for OKC. As this one is towards the middle of the field, going up. And it's played well by S2 as that one was intended for Harris. Just couldn't quite head it in, but Chavez with it.
Harris has been kind of the target man on those corners throughout the evening, getting the start tonight in place of the injured Ibiaga.
Harris, 6'3", tall target. Not a big goal scorer, only 1 this year though. Here's Highland with a left foot. There's a sideline and an offsides call in Energy FC.
Just slightly off time is Adam John. Probably still a little amped up on that 56-minute goal.
Adam John, his second goal of the year for his team. In the right place at the right time as it went through the hands of the goalkeeper, Brown. There's Laurenti, who hasn't had a lot of pressure on him in this second half, booting it forward. Burrell gives chase. Ball at the hands of Alfaro, the foot of Alfaro rather. Now on the sideline as S2 tries to calm things down. Through ball goes right to Laurenti.
And you see, even when there's pressure, is St. Louis holding on to that 2-1 lead over Tulsa. Even when there's pressure coming their way, the defense of OKC, there's no panic in it. They're just very coolly staying with it, staying with their spacing.
John showing off the fancy moves. As St. Louis, we're being told by our great production team, now up 3-1 after a quick goal.
It's kind of like the Sports Illustrated cover jinx. The second you take the graphic off the board, it changes.
A lot of games to watch tonight for OKC. They're trying to get into that 8th spot. They can get close tonight, depending on what happens around the league. If they can hold on to this lead, they have won their last 3 matches and are really making a strong late season push. S2, a young squad, more than half the players out there are teens. They're trying to win for the third time in their past 5 matches. And you see Swope Park is now leading San Antonio FC 2-1 in the second half. Another one to note for OKC. If they win and San Antonio loses, they leapfrog San Antonio in the standings.
Could be a very good night for both of those teams.
The playoff push, about 7-8 matches left in the regular season, something we're keeping tabs on. Very exciting in the Western Conference. Here's Dixon, the far sideline. Pass towards the top of the box is John. Just a bit high there as he went for the big swing. Maybe held on to the power button a little bit too long.
Too high? You take a look at the standings right there. If Swope Park holds on to that lead, that will get them 37 points. St. Louis has an opportunity to go from 35 to 38, so that will change things a little bit, but also an opportunity.
Here's John
for the
racing.
energy.
John was racing for it. Brown that time comes up and plays it nicely. Adam John, the newcomer for Energy FC, just his 6th match for them this year. Had a really strong second half. Here's McCrary, crossing pass. The back line for Energy FC waiting for it.
But that was a great buildup by S2. They kept the ball on the turf. They were moving it forward. The centering pass didn't have enough on it to be able to get to its intended target. But what they were able to do was get through very effectively. 4th card of the evening getting handed out. And this one going to David Olson in the 62nd minute.
Card number 4 for S2. That's been something this young team has struggled with this year, as they're in the bottom third of that category in the USL. That one goes against Olson. So cards on Olson tonight. That's his first one, 4 so far for Sounders FC2. Morelos is a proud partner of Energy FC. Get your grocery shopping done and buy your tickets to the next Energy FC home match at Supermercado Morelos. Stores on Southwest 59th in Santa Fe and Northwest 50th in Meridian.
Oleski had to come up and play a little bit of defense. Ball will stay with OKC. What's interesting is the pace of play continues to pick up on both sides. Seattle moving the ball quickly. They're down by 2 goals. But what's interesting is Justin Chavez told me we can't take our foot off the gas. And that's exactly, they're up by 2, and that foot is completely down on the floor.
I saw Tony Alfaro there talking to the official. 4 yellow cards called on S2. As Bruce was saying, one of the big keys last time, S2 scored 2 goals. One in the 83rd, one in the 85th minute, both of them late. And it was a late comeback that gave them the win. So, of course, OKC is thinking you want to keep the foot down and try to keep the pressure going, as one of the better goal scorers, at least he's thought to be, is about to come in for the first time for S2. That's Ocampo Chavez, the 16-year-old out of Fresno, California, getting his first action tonight. No goals yet in just his 2nd match of his career, but a lot of hype for this young player for S2. As LA will come out as well. Burt Gilroy is in.
All right, this up 56, not 92.
Some fresh legs coming in for S2.
But also one of the things that we talked about is having to make a change on that back line. Center back, LA is out. Burt Gilroy in for him. That's not the type of substitution that when you're down 2-0, you want to make. You don't want to make defensive changes. You want to make offensive changes. You want to be able to move the ball forward. And perhaps what Hutchinson is going to look to do is play with more of a back line of 3 to put more attacking players forward. We'll have to see how this all plays out. But that 2nd minute yellow card changes things for Hutchinson.
OKC can take their time now. A goal at the 28th minute from Christian Valesky, then an early goal here in the second half from Adam John. His second goal in a short amount of time with OKC. They now have, counting tonight, 12 goals in their last 4 matches. And this one still has about a half hour left.
But did you see how much space Richard Dixon has to work with? Plenty of time, no pressure, has an opportunity to look everywhere.
S2 going to set up their offense. The Tensio appears like he's the one that came out. So Tensio, number 56, who scored a goal 11 minutes into his career last week against T2. He does check out. LA stays in, who's had a very nice evening on that back line. He's wearing number 92 and now has the ball on his foot.
Well, I'm glad that we figured that one out. Fourth official put the wrong number on the board and was able to pull one over on us, but Ellie back in, and that makes more sense to leave your defenders in. We thought that that was a possibility because he's sitting on the yellow card.
So that goes along with your thought then, Bruce, as you're saying is you want to bring the fresh legs for offense to try to get maybe a late goal.
And you just basically tell Ellie and Tony, don't do anything dumb, is what it comes down to. And you know, apologize for the misinformation, but we were paying attention to that board.
Here's McCrary. He's had a nice night. The defender trying to go to work on the offensive end. Good play by Drew Becky for the second time. He saves a potential easy shot and boots it up the field.
Drew Becky is such a smooth, smart player. You rarely see him panic. He just stands his ground. He knows exactly where to be positioned. He knows exactly what to do with the ball, all opportunities.
Here's Tony Alfaro, did not play in the team's last match. Has had a nice evening. Here's LA. LA, the youngster, 20 years old from Cameroon. Trying to set up the offense here. A little bit of a miscue. And John's right there. Now Burrell to Dixon. Here is where OKC is so dangerous. Alex Dixon looking for John. Dixon in the box, fires, and it's off the foot of Alfaro past the sideline.
But again, this time, instead of Richard Dixon having all kinds of time and space, it's Alex Dixon who has all kinds of time and space. And that's dangerous for a team like OKC. Look at the real estate he has to work with. Finally, the defense collapses. He got 3 white shirts around him. But what that does is it opens up all kinds of opportunities. And if S2 is going to give that much space to guys with that kind of talent, because Dixon is a guy that can beat you all by himself.
Here's Becky, nice through pass to John. Just getting a foot on it was McCrary. That one looked like it was going to get through, and at the last second, McCrary got his left foot on it.
Looked like Drew Becky had the brilliant forward pass, but at the very last second, it's broken up by McCrary, but Oklahoma City gets it right back.
Burrell, the team leader in assists. He has 8 this year, 10 on his career, tied for a OKC record for most career assists in an OKC uniform. Had one in the 28th minute to Christian Valesky in the first half. Now it's Ross. Highland. Nice pass to Valesky. He works his way in the pocket. Back to Dixon. Dixon to Richard Dixon. Towards the box to John off his foot. Just missed it wide.
Another great build-up, another great opportunity for OKC. But what's the most impressive thing about that is the way those one-touch passes are going for OKC. But a lot of that success has to do with the amount of passing lanes that S2 is giving them. I mean, it is wide open.
If your S2 then is the adjustment you have to make, put more pressure or try to keep the ball from the sideline, what are you going to do differently?
I would tell, if I'm Hutchinson, I'm telling my guys, they've got to challenge more. Play the ball and put pressure on OKC, because OKC is having too easy of a time to move the ball forward. Valesky stops that opportunity with the push from behind.
Ocampo Chavez gets back up. Now Daly with it. A couple subs from Coach Hutchinson over the past few minutes. Trying to get an offensive burst from his team, down 2-0. They've been quieter in this second half compared to the first, as it thought for a second it was going to be an offsides call. It might come up and be a kick here for S2. A foul on OKC. Kalen Ross possibly. Going to get
Harris.
Like, yep, Harris was the one who made the infraction. And here's a chance for S2, down by 2. About 20 minutes left in the match. These are the opportunities. They've been rare in this match.
And this is striking distance. You've got options on this. You can go right at Cody Lorendi because the ball is far enough out that you can clear the wall, or do you put it into the 18 and try to make a play on Lorendi?
Jesse Daly will kick. He's got a goal and 3 assists this year. The set piece for Daly. His teammates spread out wide. That one is an over-the-top attempt, but right there was a backline for Energy FC. The bend from Alfaro. And again, OKC is there. And now on the other end, it's Burrell. Daly battles him. Burrell beats him to a spot. Here's Burrell. The red and green cleats up ahead to John. John just misfires wide left. Couldn't quite get a foot on it.
If there is a better assist man in the USL right now, I am not sure, because Jose Burrell just does an outstanding individual effort to stay on the ball. It was unbelievable. He was being beaten and bruised on this counterattack. Look how far he takes this ball. Plays it with his head, with his knee, with his feet. Gets around Daly. He's got his men beat. And then he calls his shot. And it just goes off the laces of Adam John. But what was amazing was that Burrell was able to stay on his feet and then exactly tell John exactly where he wanted him to be, where the ball was going to be, and Adam John is going to have nightmares tonight that he wasn't able to close in on that brace.
And you love the confidence from Burrell, just the development of him as a player over the past couple weeks. Now 6 assists since the start of August. He's got 8 on the year. And Ray Serrano made the substitution just a few minutes ago in for S2. The Energy FC Gold Card is a benefit for season seat members that earn some discounts at several metro area locations like Carl's Plax, the Soccer Store, Dental Works, and Movie Central, and Flower Boutique in Tuttle. To learn more, visit energyfc.com/gold. Note one more time, number 80, Ray Serrano, in for Sounders FC. The 16-year-old from Washington comes in for David Olson. They give a little more speed on that front line.
Well, it also has to do with the fact that Olson was sitting on the yellow card he picked up in the 62nd minute.
Ocampo Chavez goes back to the top. Ball to Daly. Ocampo Chavez, rather, that's Serrano trying to turn John behind him. Got a foot in there, and Energy FC comes away with it.
There was a triangle of blue kits around him which shut down that opportunity. That's where, if you feel pressure and you look around and it's only blue kits, you better dribble yourself out of trouble.
Over the top pass, looking for Ocampo Chavez. Waiting for it was Harris. Lorendi clears that big left foot. S2 has had a little more control over the past few minutes. Playing with a sense of urgency. They have some fresh legs out there, including Serrano. Ocampo Chavez. Highland, the nice defensive play to break it up.
Now, all 3 of the substitutions available to S2 have been used up. Steve Cook has a full battery of substitutes when he wants to use them, and he'll use them strategically towards the end of this match to slow it down, to run out the clock, get fresh legs on, and you've got to believe that he'll do more of that to get more defensive help than offensive.
Serrano going to work on the Highland. Highland such a defensive stalwart. Doesn't let him go by. Now OKC is content with S2, just playing passively. Chavez keeps it away. And now here comes Energy FC. Good over-the-top pass. Chasing it down. Valesky. Crossing pass was a little bit behind his target.
The big difference between over the top when you see OKC do it and when you see S2 do it is S2 puts it into traffic. When you see those over the top passes by OKC, they're more to the intended target and there isn't a defender around. Maybe that has to do with S2 giving the space and the real estate to work with, where OKC has been playing the man more than they have the ball.
A Mercy physician can keep you at the top of your game. Find your doctor at mercy.net/topgame. At Mercy, your life is our work as the players get a water break. 75 minutes into this one. Hot night in Oklahoma City. 95 degrees. It's cooled down a bit since the first kick. OKC leading 2-0 on a goal 28 minutes in by Christian Valesky off the foot. And the assist of Jose Burrell. It was Valesky's team-leading 10th. Burrell's team-leading 8th assist. And then Adam John, an early goal in the second half.
This is also a hydration break that serves basically like a timeout. And so you're at the 76th minute, so you got 14, 15 minutes left in the game. You're talking about an OKC team that is up 2-0, and they have not made a substitution yet. So this actually is a stoppage of play that gives OKC an opportunity. If you're Steve Cook, and just as I'm saying that, Bustos is coming in and Christian Valesky gets the rest of the evening off.
I think Coach may have heard you possibly as Bustos will check in. Valesky had that goal earlier. He'll come out. Marco Bustos going to try to give a little more energy for his OKC team. Some fresh legs on this hot night.
And Valesky has been a workhorse tonight. Gets the goal, the opening goal at the 28th minute mark. He gets the rest of the evening off. That, as I started to say, it was a stoppage of play that gives Coach Cook an opportunity to stretch out this game. He makes the first substitution. He still has 2 more. So the next substitution will be to get a little bit more fresh legs in, give an opportunity, stretch the game out. The third one will come probably very late in the half.
Bustos trying to go to work early. Chavez, now Burrell. Burrell, nice touch pass right in the center of the box. Bustos got a shot and a goal just as he comes in to the match in his second match for OKC Energy FC.
And he gets the goal at the 78th minute, and you can give him a yellow card for the undressing.
Marco Bustos in his second match saw some time against RGV, and that was set up by the beautiful pass from Burrell, assist number 2 tonight to a wide open Bustos.
4 games in a row that Jose Burrell has had the assist, and that one was as pretty as they can be.
$3.99.
And it's all because he was patient. I've been
Didn't even ask for him.
Been preaching that all evening long. Patience is a virtue. Patience scores goals. Patience gets Bustos his first goal, and patience gets Bustos his first yellow card.
I think Bustos will be okay with that yellow as he gets his first goal with his new team in only his second match. How about that call from Coach Steve Cook, making him look good, brings in Bustos within 2 minutes. He's on the board.
Within 1 minute. So no rest for the weary. And 2 of the 3 goals coming from the left side.
Serrano trying to cross on the defender Highland. And it's played back out to Becky. Now Highland will clear with a big left foot. You know, S2 has had their chances. They're facing a red-hot OKC team, and you see the potential, though. You see the young athleticism, and we've talked about it a lot, Bruce, especially in that first half. S2 gets into that back third very quickly, just finishing off the play.
And I said it earlier, I'll say it again. What really works well is the fact that the defensive back line of OKC, Highland, Becky, Harris, and Dixon, there's no panic. They are such veterans that even when they feel the pressure, nothing really affects them. I mean, look how coolly Becky, he doesn't even touch it. That is just a veteran play. He knows the ball is going to go past the goal line. He just needs to usher it out. No panic, he just very coolly steps in front, and when he does, the ball just drifts over the line, gives Loreni an opportunity to milk the clock, kick it away.
A veteran move by Becky, and that is what you learn when you're a player like Ray Serrano, just 16 years old, going up against the veteran Becky there. As Becky, like Bruce said, just kind of ushered it out of play, made what looked like a potential threat from Seattle turn into nothing.
And here's another thing, and I haven't really mentioned it this evening, but how often have we seen guys in blue kits sprint onto the ball when S2 was moving at a slower pace? They felt like they were in control of the play, in control of the ball, and here comes a blue kit, that time Burrill, sprinting onto the ball and changing the fortunes.
Lorendi to the kick away. Burrill 2 assists tonight. That last one to Bustos. He comes in and scores.
Let me ask you this, Ryan. Doesn't that latest assist by Burrill make him the all-time leading assist man in OKC history?
It does. That is the record as he passes Michael Thomas. That's the 11th assist for Burrill. He's got 2 tonight, 9 on the year, 11 in his OKC career. And it's incredible that now 7 of them are in this month.
And Bustos will be very lucky to stay out of the book because of that slide tackle. And think about this. Had Gardia gone to his pocket, he would have sent him off.
That would have been his second yellow. That would have put OKC down a player. And of course, you're leading 3-0, but it's not what you want. OKC leading 3-0. A shot here, set piece for S2. And it's played away by Chavez. He kicks it out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for S2.
So we'll shuffle around the table a little bit. Win by Swope tonight over San Antonio. They'll flip-flop on the table, and now San Antonio is below the Mendoza line looking up. Swope now in the playoff picture. And if this result holds.
Lorendi was saying it was out of play, and the official called it late. So he didn't have to make the save there.
So with this result holding up, OKC would move from 11th in the standings to 9th, right behind Swope. Swope goes to 37 points. OKC Energy goes to 35. The one advantage that Swope has is Swope, after tonight, will have played one less game than the Energy, as Burrill checking out after another outstanding evening.
What a month for Jose Burrill. He's got 7 assists in this month. He has 2 more tonight. The all-time assist man in OKC program history. Gets a good hand from the crowd. High fives from his teammates and Coach Cook. Jonathan Brown is checking in, wearing number 17. So round appears like it will be made up by OKC, moving up to that 9th spot, assuming things do hold. That's big, with 6 of their final 7 contests away from Oklahoma City.
Coming into this game, they were winners of 3 straight and 10 goals in 3 games. That's now 13 goals in just under 4 games. Burrill absolutely on fire now with 2 more assists tonight, 2 assists a week ago. So as we're in the 85th minute, I pose this question to you. If I was to pick, or we were to pick, a man of the match, who would you give it to for OKC?
Well, I think if you look at the way he's played in terms of the pace, I think you have to go with Burrill. He's got 2 assists. He now has 7 this month, and he sets a program record. And each play, even to an extent that John Burrill was right there, I think he's got to be our man tonight. As that ball goes to Ocampo Chavez, looking for his first goal in an S2 uniform.
And look how coolly OKC just clears out the garbage. And I'll rubber stamp your man of the match. And I think that you absolutely put it perfectly. As great a goal as Valesky had and John had and Bustos had, really the play has been Burrill as Rasmussen is going to come in as well. Burrill has been the guy who has done everything. As you see, Chavez will check out for the evening, the Oklahoma City native, putting in another solid night, giving the captain's armband to Becky here in the 86th minute. Everything is going through Burrill. He is your set piece man. He is the guy that puts it in play. Great set pieces throughout the evening. From those corners, trying to put it on the head of Harris. The assist, the 2 assists. Just everything that Jose Burrill is doing is really driving the bus. You know, you talk about the captain, Justin Chavez, telling me earlier in the week, we can't take our foot off the gas. Here's the thing, Jose Burrill is the bus driver. He is the man behind the wheel. He is the one that's cranking the tunes and making this team work. And right now, OKC is just the hottest team, if not the hottest team, certainly one of the hottest teams in the USL.
El Burrill is driving that bus right towards the playoffs. Likely after tonight, they'll be in that 9th spot. OKC, we talked about it at the top and throughout the match. Their offense has been on point. 10 goals in the 3 games entering this one. They've got 3 more tonight to continue a record pace for their program. This pass from Rasmussen. Now to Ross, and it's cleared back out.
And for OKC, this stretch of 4 games, it does so much for your club. One, it is that confidence that you get from playing so well through 4 games, the goals, the defense. It also sends a message to everyone in USL, specifically in the West. We are a team to be reckoned with. We're playing ourselves into the playoff picture. It's sending messages to teams like Orange County. There's a 6-point game on the horizon. Sacramento, a 6-point game on the horizon. St. Louis, a 6-point game on the horizon. Swope Park, a 6-point game on the horizon. Guess what? OKC can not only play themselves into the playoffs, they can also play themselves into the top 4 with all those 6-point games. They can put themselves in a position where they can houst.
I like it.
Yeah, houst is a combination of hosting and housing.
I think you've invented a new word
Yes,
tonight, and
yes,
I like it.
Thank you very much. The Webster's Dictionary was just burned because of my butchering of the English language.
3-0 OKC on top. And we'll talk about our Mass Mutual of Oklahoma man of the match in just a second. The Energy FC man of the match is throughout the year has been brought to you by Mass Mutual. We appreciate their support. Talk about that a bit though. Bruce, we've looked at Burrill, and as we think he is probably the man of the match tonight. His 2 assists. He now has 7 this month, 9 on the year. You've watched a lot of different OKC competitions this year. What's been different about him? As Bustos looks towards the far side, another shot here for OKC. This time, though, the goalkeeper is waiting for it. Brown comes away with it.
I think for me, Jose Baril is just seeing the entire pitch so very, very well. He is a guy who sees left, he sees right, he sees center, and he plays so unselfish. Yes, we saw him take a shot from distance tonight. It's a shame he wasn't able to score. But for him, it's his distribution that is key. He just sees the floor so very, very well. But it's not just the passing. It's the way that he's starting up 4 minutes of added time for our viewing pleasure. It's the way that he does everything. He is the catalyst for this team right now. He's the man on set pieces. He's the man who's distributing the ball. We saw beautiful backheel passes tonight. We saw the confidence that's coming from this entire team. They are just really, if nothing else, you can say OKC right now is having fun. And here's the thing about it. They've got 6 road games coming up, Ryan. 6 games that this team is going to be together on buses, on planes, in hotels. And when you're having fun and you're winning, that makes road trips that much easier. It's not easy to be on the road, not to sleep in your own bed, not to cook your own food. And when you're on the road and you're with your teammates and you're having fun, it makes road trips that much easier to have success.
That's why I think this match at home against S2 was so valuable. This is one of their last home matches of the year. It's before a long road trip, before 3 away from Oklahoma City against a team that is young. They're getting better, but still a team that you can take on. And they've come away with a strong performance tonight.
Look, when you have Alex Dixon has been doing this all night long, just running past the defender, staying on his feet, rubbing his racing. I get it. When he gets bumped, he just keeps on going. And OKC just controlling this game from start to finish. But for OKC, it's a matter of the teams that you're supposed to beat, you must beat. And they've done that this evening. When you're looking at your schedule and you're circling games, we must get 3 points in this game. This is one of those games they had to get 3 points from. They were looking for revenge because of their trip to Seattle, where they lost 2-1. They got revenge. They got 3 points. That's the best revenge that you can get in football.
S2 got that win back in June. They have 7 different players in their starting lineup, though, tonight than they did back then. A much different team, a young team that has played with a lot of spunk, a lot of energy, but it's been OKC who's been in control from really start to finish as a crossing pass is cleared away by S2. And Bruce, you said it perfectly. This energy team looks like a squad that has found their groove at the perfect time of the year. And now the fun part, as they go on the road against some teams that they're competing against for a final spot in the playoffs. And you see it right there as the defense just calmly gets back.
All night long, that back line of Highland, Becky, Harris, Dixon. Harris just did it a moment ago. Just how poorly they handle everything. It's almost nonchalant the way that they have played defense this evening. No panic whatsoever. People around the league are going to look at these scores, and they're going to see Valesky scored again, and John scored again, and Bustos got into the action. And they're going to go, wow, OKC is getting a lot of offensive firepower. They're going to look at the score line, and they're going to see that Jose Baril had 2 more assists tonight. But one of the reasons that all of these things are taking place is because of the defense.
Bustos tries to make a nice spin move, and the whistles are blown, but you're right. It starts from that back line, that veteran back line, led by Drew Becky in the middle. He's had a very nice night. Highland's been in multiple plays as well. It is a team that's in unison, a team that Coach Cook thought could reach this point, and you feel like they are. Now comes the real test. 6 on the road, their final 7.
And that's going to do it for the ball game. A 3-0 win for OKC. They are living up to their moniker, the Energy.
OKC moves to 10, 12, and 5. Seattle Sounders FC 2, this young group, 2 and 3 in their last 5. They're now 5, 15 and 2. What a strong all-around performance from OKC Energy FC, but the man of the match is Jose Barril.
Great choice, great play. Hard to argue with 2 assists.
He now has 9 assists on the year. He's the Energy FC man of the match, brought to you by Mass Mutual of Oklahoma City, and we're looking at one of them off that set piece.
Yeah, that header by Valesky got us started in the 28th minute. He said he did it with the right foot, the left foot, then he does it with his head. And how about that assist there? That was the 3rd goal. Bustos
was in the match for about 45 seconds, and he got that goal, but a big thanks to Jose Barril on that play. The Energy FC crowd into it. The smoke is blowing, the drums are playing as we get set to head to break, and we'll come back with the Centec post-game show. Right after these messages, OKC Energy FC wins 3-0 against Seattle Sounders FC 2 to keep rolling 4 straight wins.
When that hurricane hit, the entire community came together as a whole. It was such an overwhelming response to help others. No one thought that they were going to do this before it happened, and everyone just did it. I think that's the way that human nature should be looked at.
I'll stand by you. I'll stand by you. Won't let nobody hurt you. I'll stand by you.
A well's output is only as strong as landing the production stream. In extreme conditions, call for extreme durability. At Centec, our engineers understand what matters. That's why we craft centralizers differently than anyone else in the industry. Laser cut from a single piece of special steel alloy. There's only one centralizer this strong. Centec Centralizers, an international symbol of quality.
Welcome to the Energy FC post-game show, brought to you by Centec. Final score, OKC Energy FC 3, Seattle Sounders FC 2. Let's have a look at some of the highlights. The first half had a lot of different kind of action, back and forth match. That second half, though, was controlled by FC 2.
Early in this match, opening minute, it was S2 trying to strike, and then later on in the first half, Cody Lorendi having to come into action not once but twice, just denying Opeo.
And Lorendi now 4-0 in his young season, coming back from that injury from last year. He's been such a spark for them. And here's Christian Valesky. That was the one that really got OKC going off the foot of Barril.
Yeah, off the head, 28th minute. Baril's first assist of the evening, and Valesky gets the party started. And that's just exactly what Barril has been doing and why he is so valuable to this squad. And if it wasn't for some of the play on the defensive side for S2, this game could have been a lot worse too.
Yeah, Jordan McCrary had a really nice night on that back line. Here's the one where Adam John goes through the keeper's hands, and he's right there at the right time.
And who starts up the action doesn't get credit for the assist. That would be the game of hockey. But it's all started by Barril.
Barril had 2 assists, and we'll see another one here in just a couple of seconds, as that put OKC Energy FC up by 2. And here's Barril showing off the nice work right there to Bustos, and he had plenty of room to work with.
Bustos checks in at the 77th minute, gets the goal in the 78th, He gets the card for good measure, but hey, if you're going to score a goal, you might as well get the card along with it.
Showing off the tattoo. Bruce, final thoughts.
Final thoughts is OKC is just one of the hottest teams around. I would not want to be facing them right now. They're 9th on the table with a lot of 6-point games in front of them. 6 games on the road, just 1 at home. For OKC, they control their own destiny. They continue to play like this, they'll be in the playoffs.
They take on Swope Park next Saturday. Big thanks to our crew that did a great job. Big thanks to you for tuning in. For Bruce Silverman, I'm Ryan Pierce. OKC wins 3-0.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.